So if I were to ask you to draw a stick man, I'm guessing that you would start with a head like this. Little straight line for his body, little straight lines for his legs, little arms, maybe some circles for some hands and feet. But that is quite hard to manipulate into different positions. So the way to start drawing a figure, to work out your drawing, is to start with your head. Add in your torso, which is going to be a bigger circle, and then the hips, which is going to be a smaller circle. Put on your shoulders, and then you have arms with elbows at the waist point. And your legs will come straight down with knees, and then they'll cut feet at the bottom. Okay. So that is a figure that can be manipulated a little bit easier into different positions because you've got points where the joints will be, points where you will bend. So for example, you can test this out with some boxes and trying to put your little stick man into those boxes in different positions, fitting inside the box. It's a lot easier if you have the joints that you can throw in. So this little guy is going to be dancing. Oh, woohoo! You could have somebody sitting. So head and torso. Hips down here, shoulder, wouldn't really see the other one, and then another arm back there, and perhaps one knee up, because he's relaxing. And how about fear? Have somebody running away from something. Oh my god! Whoa! Let's get away! Let's get away! Oh my god! Run, run, run! And how about somebody again sitting but at a different angle? Let's have that. Maybe they're leaning. A little bit glum. Okay, so you can see how that was a lot easier to manipulate the figure into different positions. So a lot of people have heard the phrase that the body is 8 heads high, a standard body. So we're going to talk about that today. First of all, draw a line down in the middle and then divide your page into 8 sections. You'll have your head at the top there. Now, your shoulders, when you think about how wide your shoulders are going to be, think about the height of that head. And your shoulders are 2 heads wide. All right? So draw in your neck and shoulders based on that information. Arms come up to that second line. So this point at the bottom of head number 3 is where your belly button sits. Okay, then when your arms come down, this point is also where your elbows are. So this is the bend in the arm is up on that third point as well. Now in the fourth head section you have your hips. Okay, and you also have the rest of your arms that point, and this is the halfway line. So your legs take up half of your body. Now in the fifth you will have your hands, and the start of your legs. So the top of your legs come to that halfway point, and your upper legs go down for 2 sections, and then at point 6 that is where your knees are. Now when you're drawing the bottom half of your legs, don't go straight down, okay, to the feet. If you look at that person there, he has absolutely no muscle structure in his legs and he's going to fall over. So when you draw the lower half of the leg, make sure it's like a diamond. It goes out and then comes back in again, because that is what your legs do. They are wider at the top point than they are at the ankle, and you need to indicate that. Okay, so I'm just going to put triangular feet on here, not going to worry about that too much. Alright, so there is a perfectly proportioned human being. Now, nobody is a perfectly proportioned human being, I'm sorry, that's absolutely true. But this does give you a starting point when you are trying to draw a figure as to where everything kind of should be. So you can use this as well when you're thinking about arms in different positions. If you were to draw a half circle, a quarter circle even, up from the elbow, that is where the elbow will be if you were to stretch out the arm. And same with the hand, the wrist point. You can find where that's going to be as well. Now, drawing children is a slightly different ball game. Small children are about 5 heads high, and their proportions are slightly different to a grown-up. So start with a head shape at the top. And then your shoulders are narrower than that 2 heads high. And at that 2 head point you have your elbows. So we're looking at maybe a 3-year-old at the moment on this. Your arms and hands will come in before the 3rd head line. And there you have your hip joint, and that's a bit high. Okay, so your belly button will be lower than that 2 points. The top of your legs is at point 3. Now, working your way down, your knees will be at point 4. And then again, a little diamond for your little bottom half of your legs and your feet. Okay, so you can see proportionally how different that is to a grown person. So now we're going to move on to the proportions of the head. So draw yourself a little upside down egg shape, divide him down the middle exactly halfway, and also divide him halfway across, a quarter of the way down, and then an eighth of the way down. Alright, and these are going to be your division points for various points of the face. So your eyes will sit on that halfway line. Okay, and it's important to note that your eyes are about an eye width apart. So this distance here, and this distance here, and this distance here are all the same. Alright, so you have a space between your eyes that is the same width as an eye. Okay, so I'm just going to put in the eyes here, a little bit more detail. Alright. Then we have the nose. The nose sits at the quarter way down point. So I'm just going to put a little curve in there. And a little curve at the sides. And again, you will notice that the nose sits just inside the eyes. So if you were to draw straight down from that eye, you would reach the edge of the nose. Again, this is a standard out-the-box human being, which isn't for everybody. Everybody is different, I get it. But this is your kind of standard to work from. All right, so your nose is sitting at that quarter line, and your mouth will sit on that eighth line. And generally, as a standard, will be the edge will be in the middle of your eyes. If you were to draw straight down from the middle of the eye, you'll get the edge of the lips. Okay, remember, standard out of the box robot human being. But it gives you an idea. Okay. So just to recap, we've got an eye width apart. We've got nose at the quarter line. And it is another eye's width. And then we have the mouth on the eighth line, and your edges are your ears, believe it or not, will sit between that halfway line and the quarter line. So all you need from this angle is a little squiggle. And again, some ears are smaller, some are larger. But generally, and eyebrows, well, there's no real measurement for those, just sit them above the eyes there and follow the curve of the eye to draw them. And your hairline will sit just above that, whatever hairstyle you decide to have on your person. Your neck essentially comes as nearly as wide as your head. It's coming down from your ear point and comes in before it gets to your shoulders. Look at the face again now, but we're going to look at it a little bit differently, because anime faces are a common thing that people want to draw, but they're a little bit different from standard human faces, as you might imagine. So a few rules to follow is that your head is going to be narrower at the chin. They often have quite narrow little chins. So get rid of that. Get rid of that. The quarter point is still where the nose is. The 8th point is still where the mouth is. It's the eyes that are different. So the eyes, rather than sitting on this line like before, will be below this line and a heck of a lot larger. And quite often quite pretty. Ears again are often a little bit smaller, but we'll still start at that halfway line. So the eyes are bigger, they're lower. Nose is at the quarter line, but is smaller. And the mouth, again, is at the 8th line, but again, smaller. The neck is narrower. The chin is narrower. So you've been watching an Arty Mouse video. You can find me at Arty Mouse Art Tutorials on Facebook. You can also find me on Instagram at ArtyMouse76. If you click below, you can find my email newsletter, which you can join up with for weekly art tips and personal tutorials. See you again.